Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Lords of the Night. With me, as always, is the Lord of Pain, Ranting Monkey,
Hey guys.
and the Lord of Pennies, Satsu 2 cents.
What it do?
And I'm your host, Scribe Light, the Lord of Punishment. I will drill into Monkey's head because I'm also the Lord of Penetration. Ha ha ha.
I see what you did.
Yeah. How are you guys tonight?
Good. How are you?
I am well. I have my requisite Dr. Pepper here.
I like that. I like the way you did that there.
Yeah, you like the dramatic little snap open with the.
Yeah,
Tastes so good. I'd like to be a pepper too.
that was very effective.
I
Although
know.
Dr. Pepper tastes like shit, but
Yeah, and unfortunately, Dr. Pepper is not a sponsor of this stream. How are you, Satsu?
I was a lot better earlier, but I took a nap and woke up and feel like I got hit by a train. So that's cool.
I'm glad you're here then. I guess. Hello, chat. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. Let's see. Do we have anything to cover before we get into the snoozy snooze?
I have a little butt story for you.
Yay!
I got a text from my daughter. She said little butt was wiping off her kisses, and she goes, "You can't wipe off my kisses." So little butt looks at her and goes, "Well, next time I'm at Grandma and Grandpa's house, I'll just do it when you leave."
Oh,
Jesus.
The girl got an attitude problem.
Sass.
Yeah, that's my girl.
Sass.
that hurt my feelings.
Let's see. Monkey Dick, Jim Jones, movies. Hit that like button if you have not already. We have 84 watching and 20 likes. So some of you all is being lazy.
Y'all sleep.
Yeah, some of y'all.
Y'all. I mean, my ego isn't nearly as fragile as Monkey's, but it's a little fragile, fragile.
Fragile.
Speaking of fragile, or French, I'm not SDA, and yet today we had a terrorist situation, apparently. In France, if you can believe it.
No.
France hostage situation ends 4 dead, including gunmen. A gunman, it has been reported, was screaming Allahu Akbar as he was going about his business. And this story actually does not come from CNN because you know why?
No.
Because CNN removed this from anywhere on their front page, even though you would think it would be a big story. No, they replaced it with bump stocks might be banned soon. I was like, oh, there's CNN, the international news network. Good job, guys. A gunman killed 3 people in southwestern France on Friday in a burst of violence that included hijacking a car, shooting at police officers, and opening fire and taking hostages in a supermarket. The gunman, who witnesses said claimed to be acting on behalf of the Islamic State, was later killed by police officers who stormed the market. An officer wounded after exchanging places with some of the hostages was fighting against death in the hospital on Friday night, President Emmanuel Macron said. The attack rattled nerves in a country that has been hit hard by terrorism in recent years, and it underscored the threat posed by individuals inspired by terrorist propaganda, but who act outside of any structured networks, making it difficult for intelligence services to monitor them. Quote, "The level of terrorist threat in our territory has not waned," said Francois Molins, the Paris prosecutor who handles terrorism investigations nationwide. You didn't need that extra comma there, New York Times. Let's see. Quote, "It is the result of radicalized individuals who are on our national territory." And you also need to put a space between paragraphs there, New York Times. Just helping you out. You're not edited by Chris Saliza, are you? Whether or not the attacker had any direct contact with the Islamic State remained unclear and also irrelevant. The authorities identified the gunman as Radouane Lakdim, 25, who was born in Morocco, but who lived in Carcassonne, about 60 miles southeast of Toulouse, and was known to the police as a petty criminal and drug dealer, He had previous convictions for illegally carrying a firearm and possessing drugs. So there you go. France has had another terrorist incident. Scribe light the grammar police. Well, you know, like I say, I read it as it's written, and if it's written to a point where it breaks my brain, I have to say something. That's the way it works.
That's the way it works.
Yeah, nothing more to say there except, you know, another awful thing that happened. And I didn't see much on the Twitter about it, or people any outcries or anything. So
why would you?
I don't know. Thank you, Three-Sided Coin. Sounds like a Russian name. I might have pronounced it incorrectly. I don't know.
Everybody's scared to talk about stuff like that.
Yeah, on the off chance they'll offend someone, then the Scotland Yard will come after them. Let's see. The title of this stream, 16 Million Reasons Why Not, was inspired by this story, which pissed me off to no end and still does.
Sweet.
Bank of America systematically misled clients about stock trades.
No, that doesn't happen.
Yeah, well, Bank of America Merrill Lynch doctored paperwork on 16 million orders to fool institutional clients into thinking stock trades were taking place in-house when they were not, according to New York's Attorney General. 16 million orders, doctored paperwork. Now, in my mind, and correct me if I'm wrong, that would be 16 million counts of securities fraud.
Sounds like, yeah.
Well, can you imagine what happened to Bank of America as a result of this?
Nothing.
Well, you're almost right. The bank admitted on Friday to systematically misleading clients, yeah, between 2008 and 2013 about how orders were handled for more than 4 billion shares of stock. New York Attorney General Eric Schneiderman said Bank of America agreed to pay a record $42 million penalty.
Shit.
Okay, an amount of money that would constitute a rounding error on Bank of America's petty cash fund is the record penalty for the, and I'm quoting here, masking scheme and violations of New York securities laws.
Yeah.
The settlement said Bank of America had undisclosed agreements with electronic market makers to secretly route them trades for 5 years. Market makers buy and sell securities to help markets function smoothly. Quote, Bank of America Merrill Lynch went to astonishing lengths to defraud its own institutional clients about who was seeing and filling their orders, Schneiderman said. The investigation uncovered an email from a Bank of America executive that explained a desire to increase the volume of trades to electronic market makers, quote, based on other revenue opportunities being discussed with them. It's not clear what those opportunities were. Why not? Did the investigation just stop as soon as they held some money out in front of them?
Yeah.
Wall Street firms, quote, cannot use new technology to exploit their clients in service of their business relationships with large industry players, Schneiderman said. Well, apparently they can and get away with it. Authorities said Bank of America carried out the quote unquote fraud. Why did you put that in quotes, CNN? It's exactly what it is.
They're not sure it's fraud.
By reprogramming its electronic trading system to automatically doctor trade confirmation messaging sent back to clients.
I don't see the problem.
No, of course not. Employees referred to this as masking, replacing real information about where trades took place with a code to indicate it happened in-house. Replacing real information. You know, in some countries, I think they call that lying.
No.
Oh, my God. Many of these market makers engage in high-frequency trading. Knowledge of looming trade orders can be extremely valuable to these firms, allowing them to jump in front of large trades with ones of their own. That's why some large institutional investors, such as pension and mutual funds, prefer to conduct trades at an in-house dark pool, alternative exchanges that offer greater discretion. The New York investigation found that Bank of America inflated its claims about its own dark pool. That sounds gross. In some instances, Bank of America employees even told institutional clients who asked that trades were not going to electronic market makers, according to the settlement. So they lied directly to them, too. Okay. In a statement, Bank of America said the settlement, quote, primarily relates to conduct that occurred as long as 10 years ago. And the bank said that, quote, at all times we met our obligation to deliver the best prices to our clients and has since addressed the client communication issues. So the ends justify the means.
Of course.
Is what you're saying. Okay.
It's okay because there was a reason.
Yeah. So I when I retweeted the story out earlier today, I tweeted to the SEC, and I said, "Hey, so 16 million instances of fraud, and they only have to pay a fine. So if I commit securities fraud, I guess nothing happens to me, right? I don't go to jail." And I missed something from Three-Sided Coin. Thank you. Yeah, but we don't need a CFPB now, do we? Yeah, well, if they keep underfunding it and basically trying to eliminate it. But at the same time, it's not like the Attorney General of New York didn't have discretion to try to pursue criminal charges. He didn't. Now, why is that? Well, I can imagine why. Because it would be difficult. Because white-collar crime is sometimes, especially in large institutions, difficult to track down. You have to find intent. You have to go do a whole bunch of investigating and work. And I know it's really tough doing work to try to stop people from doing things that are illegal. But once in a while, you might want to think about actually enforcing the laws that everybody else has to abide by. This pisses me off to no end. This is the kind of shit that led to us having the financial crisis we did back in 2008, where these guys get away with this kind of thing and things like it for years and years and years, and only until the pot kettle boils over does somebody actually take notice.
Well, even then, I mean, they don't even seem to care. I mean, wouldn't you call that the pot boiling over?
Well, yeah, 16 million instances of document fraud. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, what else? What more is it going to take for someone to be held criminally liable in these things? I mean, obviously, melting down the global economy wasn't enough, so I guess there really is no limit. I just did a video today about people breaking the rules and trying to act like they're the victims or something, and it's just like the same principle applies across the board. If you cheat, if you lie, if you break the law, you should not be rewarded for that. That's not how it's supposed to work. That's the opposite of how it's supposed to work. So anyway, I could go on. I might be a little passionate about this subject. I don't know.
You seem to be, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense because that shit's bullshit.
$42 million.
Yeah.
Gosh, I'm sure I'm sure that they'll never do it again. Just like, what was it, Wells Fargo, whatever, made all those fake accounts to try to bump up their numbers. They had to pay some stupid fine. That was it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Opening accounts and clients' names they didn't know about. Yeah.
I don't see what's wrong with that. I mean,
no, I mean, it's basically the way these cycles work. We are within, if we're not there already, we're within at least a year or two of another financial meltdown. Just like we were back in 2008, because these things tend to go about 8 to 10 year cycles between instances, and the next one's going to come around. Everybody's going to be like, "How the heck could this have happened?" And like, yeah. Anyway, this is a story that'll tell you why. Let's see. I only got 2 other stories that jumped out at me because not a whole lot happened today except for the hostage thing. That was the bigger news earlier today. This one is kind of a mystery, and I have a notion about it, but I'll read the details. Iowa family found dead in Mexico.
Oh, I saw the headline. Didn't read this.
An Iowa family vacationing in Mexico was found dead Friday inside their condominium, according to police. The bodies of Kevin Wayne Sharp, his wife, Amy Marie Sharp, their 12-year-old son, Sterling, and their 7-year-old daughter, Adriana, were discovered during a welfare check by Mexican authorities at a vacation rental in Tulum, T-U-L-U-M, according to Mark Williams, chief dispatcher for the Creston Police Department in Iowa. A family member reported the Sharps as missing just after midnight, a news release from the police department said. Local police in Iowa made contact with the U.S. State Department before Mexican authorities checked on the family at the Coastal Caribbean condo, where they were found dead. Police told CNN affiliate KCCI there were, quote, no signs of traumatic injury to the family. Autopsies are being conducted in Mexico.
Wait,
Jana,
okay.
yeah, this is let me finish real quick. Jana Wayland, a relative, told CNN the family arrived in Tulum on March 15th. They were staying in a rental house they found through a vacation rental company. The last contact the family had with the Sharps was a picture the son posted to Snapchat of his feet by the water that day. Here's my guess. Carbon monoxide poisoning.
In one room?
I don't know.
It was a condo, so never mind. Yeah, maybe.
It's a condo, no traumatic injury. So, okay, there were only two theories in my mind about that. Either carbon monoxide poisoning or murder-suicide somehow through poisoning or something like that.
I mean, I suppose. I don't know. It seems weird to me that it's Mexico, so I'm having trouble believing the no trauma.
Yeah, well, like I say, if the report is true, there were no signs of traumatic injury. There's only a couple of things that would just wipe out people in a confined space. And so either it's carbon monoxide poisoning or something like that, or, dad or mom took everybody on one last vacation before offing everybody. I don't know.
Somebody don't drink Mexican water, guys. That's the lesson here.
So you think it was massive Montezuma's revenge?
Yes.
It was group dysentery. I have died of dysentery. Maladjusted one says dad farted. Yeah. Yeah, that's carbon monoxide poisoning. Yeah. So like I say, that's my guess. I mean, on the scale of things, I'd rather it was that than they were all brutally murdered somehow.
Sure.
Kind of. I mean, it's like very cold comfort to find out it was some kind of accident or something, but little kids, I just, anyway. So there was that. And lastly, this is a story that would usually probably end up on like MSS News or something, but I just saw it on CNN, so I thought I'd read it. If you can believe it, makeup is changing the meaning of masculinity.
Oh, fuck off. No. It's not okay for men to wear makeup.
A youthful male model rubs moisturizer between his palms. He then applies it to his face, pats on some tinted moisturizer, dots concealer under his eyes, and buffs on powder to set. As simple as that, ASOS, or ASOS, whatever, ASOS, the UK-based online fashion retailer presents its grooming tutorial, quote, how to do natural makeup for men. The video has amassed more than 750,000 views on Facebook, which legitimizes it, I guess.
Well, if it's on Facebook.
I know. This Facebook for your face makeup.
I see what you did.
This step-by-step is very different from those demonstrated by male makeup artists such as Patrick Simondak and Manny Gutierrez, who have gained fame and attracted followers in the millions. Never heard of them. But then I don't put makeup on my face. Distinct from the full-faced makeup looks that I don't care. I give up. I really don't care.
So basically, dudes are wearing makeup, and we're supposed to be cool with it.
Yeah, it's changing how we think of masculinity. It's like, yeah, I think masculinity is more vital now than ever, and that isn't it.
Well, what's funny about that is apparently makeup is like the bane of women, and it holds people down by setting beauty standards and forcing them to feel like they need to do that. And they're like, now it's carrying over to men, and that's great.
Let's make men that way, yeah.
Isn't that cultural appropriation?
Something like that.
Well, anyway, those are all the main stories I had pulled up. Do you guys know of anything otherwise?
Not really story like news wise, but in one of my recent videos, somebody was telling me about Steve Shives did a review on Black Panther. And they said that he enjoyed the movie, but before he gave his review, he said that if he did not like the movie, that he would not have given a review because he didn't want to take anything away from the black people who were enjoying it.
Are you fucking shitting me?
Yeah, so because I liked it, I'll talk about it. But if I didn't like it, I didn't want the niggas to get mad and shit.
That is fucking retarded.
Wait. Isn't it the height of a sense of white exceptionalism to think that his negative opinion would retract something from people who enjoyed it who were black?
Oh yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, there are people who aren't racist around right now, just doing not racist shit, and then there are self-righteous, holier than thou people who are like, yeah, I don't want those Negroes to, because they're so fragile and stupid. If I say anything bad about their precious movie, they'll be broken. So good thing I liked it. Like, fuck you, dude.
Oh, Steve Shives, never ever change.
Oh my god.
Well, let's see then. If there's nothing else, I guess we will go on to the MSS Schnuzz. Cool. Everyone, if you have news stories you'd like us to read on the air, please send them to us via Twitter using the hashtag MSSNews. Can't promise we'll get to them all, but we'll look at as many as we can. And the first one that jumps out at me is the first one on the list. This one comes from the Hate Camel. Oh, here's a name I haven't heard in a long time. It's not Obi-Wan Kenobi. 15th defense lawyer in Suge Knight's murder case leaves.
Wow.
Is he just like keep firing his defense attorneys to drag this out?
Sounds like.
Marion Suge Knight has lost another defense lawyer, his 15th, and the 3-year wait for his murder trial to start will grow even longer. Judge Ronald S. Cohen released attorney Dominique Banos on Friday, citing a conflict of interest. Banos says she believes she is a target in the witness tampering investigation that led to the indictment and removal of 2 of Knight's lawyers. She denies any wrongdoing. What?
Does she know what wrongdoing is?
Did she understand that when she first took him on as a client?
Apparently not.
The judge appointed a 16th attorney, Robert DeBlanc, but Knight said he has already privately hired yet another without giving his name. The Death Row Records co-founder has pleaded not guilty to murder and attempted murder for running over 2 men outside a Compton burger stand in 2015. And there's video of that, by the way, if you want to go look it up. He totally ran those people over. Yeah. Yeah, it's true. What is this? Okay, this one comes from Froggy. Is this? No, it's not a Florida man story. Okay. Omaha surgeons tend to assault victim who had pliers lodged in skull.
Wow.
Okay.
That's not something that happens naturally.
Pierce County, Nebraska. A Pierce County assault has put the victim in an Omaha hospital for treatment of a serious head injury and landed the alleged assailant in jail on $500,000 bond. Bregan Silva Aguilar, 35, is in custody after allegedly stabbing a fellow employee in the head with a pair of pliers. One handle of the tool lodged in the victim's head, piercing his skull and entering his brain.
Wow.
According to court documents, the Pierce County Sheriff's Department was called to the scene of an assault at a business near Plainview just before 4:30 p.m. on Wednesday. A deputy located the victim in the emergency room. One handle of a large, rusty pair of pliers had torn through the man's ball cap and was lodged in the back left side of his head. Measurements indicated the pliers had penetrated 1.75 inches into the victim's skull. Ugh.
That's a lot.
Let's see. Nebraska State Patrol troopers arrested Silva Aguilar for first-degree felony assault. Documents say Silva Aguilar admitted to troopers that there was an argument earlier in the day and said he threw the pliers at the victim.
What?
No.
Okay. Do you know how hard you have to throw something to embed it in somebody's skull?
Yeah, a handle of a pair of rusty pliers, 1.75 inches through someone's skull. You threw them at him. Sure.
Was he a fucking pitcher?
I don't know, but if he ends up in jail, he'll certainly be a catcher.
Oh,
I funny.
oh my god.
Ooh, this doesn't sound good. This comes from Weibo Jones. Young activist OmniPolitics16 has committed suicide.
Whoa, who?
I recognize this name for some reason.
OmniPolitics. That's the child molester dude, ain't it?
I think so. Yeah, that was the one that didn't Jim do a video on him, or am I misremembering?
I know a lot of people did. If he's the one I'm thinking of, lots of people did videos on him.
Let's see. Well, let me read this. Sad news. It seems that OmniPolitics16 has committed suicide. He was, for those who don't know him, a very young male YouTuber who was minor attracted. Minor attracted. Is that what they're calling it now? Who was
I've never heard
that. Wait. Who was minor attracted and fought for the rights of minor attracted people.
Pedophiles.
Minor. I'm sorry. I'm just sort of flabbergasted. I've never heard it put that way before. That's weird.
Minor attracted.
Right now, if you search for his name on YouTube, it is littered with videos of his opponents demonizing him. I wonder why.
No. They were pointing out correctly he's a fucking pedophile.
One wonders, do they? One wonders, what do these people say now that he has committed suicide?
Bye, pedo.
Well, I'm not any fan of people taking their own lives in most situations. Even this guy, I'm not celebrating it per se, but I don't care.
If you're out there promoting pedophilia and you want to eat a bullet, I don't care. Bye.
Yeah, anyway, that's
so whoever's wondering what those of us who detract from him think, fuck him.
Yeah,
I'm sorry for his family because that sucks. Fuck him.
Minor attracted. I mean, I think of like the George Carlin skit where he talks about like
renaming shit,
differently abled or whatever. Oh god,
that's my favorite skit.
Let's see. So what else do we have here? Okay. A little bit of nepotism here. I'm going to read the thing that I posted because I'm me, and why not?
Excuse me. Sorry.
Although this might end up being like a deep topic kind of thing. Isle of Dogs, which is a movie, by the way. Cultural appropriation debate marks a major shift in how we watch movies. Now, for those of you who don't know, Isle of Dogs is a stop-motion animated film by, was it Paul Wes Anderson or whatever, the guy who did Royal Tenenbaums and other things that suddenly my brain cannot think of. It's got Bryan Cranston in it and the voices of like Scarlett Johansson and Bill Murray and all types of stuff. I've seen some making of videos of it, and it's just amazing. Stop motion like movies always amaze me, just the amount of detail and artistry and time it takes to do those things. Anyway, Bill Murray and Scarlett Johansson have been here before, of course, 15 years ago this summer when they starred in Sofia Coppola's Lost in Translation. But it's illuminating to see how much has changed in the critical waters between that film and their newest, Wes Anderson's mostly acclaimed Isle of Dogs, which was co-written by Sophia's brother and cousin, Roman Coppola, and Jason Schwartzman. All right, what's been appropriated here? Today, a film like the animated Isle of Dogs, which is set in a fictional, retro-futuristic version of Japan, comes under strong scrutiny over matters of cultural appropriation and sensitivity from U.S. viewers to stoking the social media bonfire of conversation.
What?
Because an American guy made a movie set in Japan. Is that it? Let's see. The dogs, for their part, all speak clear American English, which is ridiculous, charming, and a little revealing. They're dogs!
They're not real dogs.
It's ridiculous because they're talking at all.
Hello.
What the?
Dogs can't talk?
Monkey, what kind of drugs do they have you on?
Well, apparently Asian dogs.
Asian dogs can't speak English, apparently. They're too dumb or something. But all of these coy linguistic layers amount to their own form of marginalization, effectively reducing the hapless, unsuspecting people of Megasaki to foreigners in their own city. It's fiction. It's fake. It's a cartoon. It is a 3D cartoon, dude.
Nothing is more important than the cartoons.
Yeah, obviously. Bring back Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. That's all I got to say. Moving on. What is... okay. This one comes from Signal Boost. I suppose this is where we're at in science now. Instead of using trees, scientists are making sustainable paper out of manure.
What? Why?
Paper is a material that we use ubiquitously for printing, books, and advertisements. Over 40% of the world's cut timber is used for paper production, and it requires millions of trees to be cut down and uses a lot of water. A research group from the University of Vienna has created a more environmentally friendly way to produce paper from animal poop. Grazing animals eat a lot of grass and other plants. This means that their waste also contains a lot of cellulose. In areas with lots of farm animals or elephants, reusing their waste is a good way to get rid of this agricultural waste and produce paper in a cheap and environmentally friendly way. I don't care, really. I mean, as long as it doesn't... Yeah, shit paper. As long as it doesn't smell like shit.
Did you get that super chat?
I did not. Sorry about that. Thank you, Cryptic. Why did 50 Cent turn off the TV? The game was on.
Oh wait, was I on?
No, I get it. I'm hip to that jive, Daddy-O.
Oh boy, I'm going back on mute.
What? Because I get it? I'm too white to understand what that joke means?
Shut up, Cracker.
Hey, I'm offended. You're going to Scottish jail.
Oh shit! Not Scottish jail.
Yeah, Scottish jail. They'll make you wear a kilt 24/7. Thank you, Adam Mangold. And lawyer dogs talk. Well, I don't know. I've only seen lawyer dogs write.
Scribe, can I bring my pug?
What, to Scottish jail?
Yeah.
Yes, that's where. I mean, the pugs are the most dangerous creature in Scotland.
There you go.
Yeah. What is this? Oh, this is great. Okay, this comes from senior staff reporter and chief Florida correspondent Colleen Bernier. Homestead man, I'm guessing Homestead is a town in Florida. Homestead man shoots self in leg to profess love for ex-girlfriend.
Did it work?
Let's find out. A South Florida man's plan to win back the love and affection of his ex-girlfriend included shooting himself in the leg. Ivan Filguera. Sorry, what?
So I was talking to Lady Monkey. She just got home. Keep going.
Hi, Lady Monkey. Ivan Filguera, I know I'm screwing that up, 26, and his girlfriend broke up in January after he cheated on her with another woman. Since that time, Filguera's ex said he has been trying to get her back, even showing up at her Florida City workplace begging and crying. Oh, that's manly. Does this guy wear makeup by any chance? Figuera. I'm just going to say Figuera because I can't. Filguera sounds weird. He called the woman at her homestead home on March 11th, saying he was going to shoot himself in the thigh to prove he loves her, adding he knew he could hit an artery and that he may bleed out. After his comment, the ex said she heard a gunshot and her ex-boyfriend screaming that he needed a paramedic. When officers arrived at the scene, they found him with a gunshot wound to his left thigh, sitting in the passenger seat of a silver Lexus driven by an unknown person. Due to the severity of his injuries, he was airlifted at Jackson South Hospital in critical condition. Following surgery, he was kept in hospital under the Baker Act and medically treated. The Baker Act, I don't know what that is. As police found multiple firearms and ammunition inside his home, he was arrested and charged with possession of a weapon by a convicted felon immediately after being discharged Wednesday. I wonder what he was convicted of, because it didn't say. There you go.
Well, at least he shot himself.
Now, you see, here's the problem. He didn't listen hard enough to the John Bon Jovi song. Shot through the heart, not through the thigh.
Oh, I get you. I get you. That's not the name of the song, though.
I know. I'm just saying.
But we've been over that before, so I wanted to reiterate it.
The most famous lyric of a song is the title of the song. I'm sorry. This is the way it is.
That's not how it works.
Yeah, well, in my world, for that song, it is. Let's see. Ooh. Oh, there's a new documentary about Mr. Rogers. Won't You Be My Neighbor?
Oh, yeah.
Won't you be my neighbor?
Yeah,
the tweets around that were pretty interesting.
Yeah, Signal Boost just wanted to let us know that there's a documentary. I think I heard about this, but I obviously haven't seen it yet.
Well, people were getting like real passionate about it. Like there were some where people were like don't act like Mr. Rogers was a part of your fucking childhood and it wasn't something that you were watching. And then other people are like, I wish people would stop saying that he was too good for this world and we didn't deserve him because he was trying to teach us the opposite, that we did deserve him. And I'm just like, okay.
Like I actually saw Mr. Rogers live when I was a kid in concert. He was playing at a local, he and the whole gang from the TV show were doing a live show. And I even got an autographed photo of Mr. Rogers when I was like 5 or something. I don't remember, but so I have a special place in my heart for Mr. Rogers, and it's one of those things that's sort of like until I hear that he was like allegedly having sexual harassment of his staffers or something, which is just a day away. I'm pretty sure at this point. He has a special place in my heart. I don't know that I get weepy over it though. Maybe
you know what I like? I like his rap battle against Mr. T.
That's right. Let's see. We'll do a couple more here. This one comes from Quorum, if I'm saying that correctly. Quorum. Teens and teachers say Fortnite Mobile is destroying some schools. Fortnite. I don't know what that is.
It's a game.
That's since this is a Kotaku article, I would assume so. For months now, teachers everywhere have heard students talk about Fortnite, the world's newest obsession, nonstop. While the popularity of the game is nothing new, its release on iOS has apparently only made things more intense. Fortnite is now a huge distraction you can take anywhere. You can now take anywhere after all. Okay, you guys tell me what's Fortnite, because I'm too old to know.
It's a battle royale style game where you go into an arena, like you get airdropped into an arena and you can land anywhere you want. And it's 100-man death match. Last person survives wins.
Okay.
And it's pretty fucking addictive. Like I played it a couple times and I was like, holy shit, this game's intense.
Okay.
But it's been getting a lot of traction. So
many schools have rules against cell phones, but judging from posts on social media, nothing can stop students from booting up the ruthless shooter. How about rules against cell phones? Everyone is playing it, teens say, so schools have tried to ban it. It's a huge enough problem that some schools are reportedly having Wi-Fi problems as teens try their best to survive the battle royale through shared networks. Why not just turn off the Wi-Fi except for staff use?
That'd probably be difficult.
Why not have all the kids put their cell phones at the front of the classroom while they're in class and then get them after they leave? I must be missing something about why this is such a problem if parents or teachers can't put their feet down. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, taking a cell phone from a child in 2008 is child abuse.
Yeah, somebody will punch you in the face.
God. I remember long ago, my sister lived with me for a short while after she got out of college. And at that time, she was on a relatively limited budget because she had a pretty crappy job. And she was complaining one night about how little money she had and everything else. And I'm like, well, I'm not charging you rent. So what's your biggest single expense? And she said, probably my cell phone bill. I was like, okay, well, how much is that? And this is years ago, by the way. So this is probably going to sound pennies compared to today. But she said it was like $70 a month. And I was like, okay, well, why don't you just not use the cell phone? Now, at that time, I didn't have a cell phone. I'm a very late adopter to just about everything technological because I don't want to get too reliant on it. But then as soon as I suggested that she not have a cell phone, she had like this physical reaction like it was a human syntax error. You would have thought that I just told her not to use heroin anymore or something. I mean, I can't, it's hard to describe. It's like her body kind of froze up for a second and she kind of blinked and her head shook around. She's like, she took a minute for her to get the words out. Like, no. I was like, holy shit, you've got a problem. So, yeah, no, I can empathize with the notion of trying to take away what is effectively part of kids' anatomy these days. But that's beside the point. It's a school. You're supposed to be there to pay attention to school, not fight in battle royales or whatever. God, I sound like a grandpa now. I'm not even a grandpa.
One day, Scribe. One day.
God, if I suddenly find out I'm a grandpa, there's a couple of steps I missed along the way. I just tell you what.
Yeah.
Let's see. We'll do one or two more. This one also comes from Froggy. It's taking me to Google Play Newsstand. Okay. Shawshank prisoner gets frisky with new flame during visit. Shawshank? The convicted cop killer who spent more than 3 weeks on the run following a 2015 prison break has a new Shawshank, that's in quotation marks, a female groupie who was caught in a sex act with him during a visit earlier this month. Is that Shawshank? So oh, sorry. Those are my old eyes. My old eyes. Shawskank. Sorry. Not Shawshank, Shawskank. So a prison girlfriend is called a Shawskank now. David Sweat, who's serving a life sentence at the maximum security prison in Attica, got himself into new trouble with the aid of girlfriend Frances Malinick, sources familiar with the incident said Thursday. Are you guys CNN now?
Sounds like.
Sweat 37 was in the visiting area for Attica's special housing unit, where he's being held in solitary confinement, when a correction officer spotted him fondling himself through his state-issued dark green prison pants. Malinick, 45, then reached through a window in the metal partition separating them to give Sweat a hand. Jesus.
Dude, you can't do that.
She gave him a handy. She gave a sweaty handy. Sweaty palms. What else? We talked about the France thing. I don't care about the Playboy model that fucked Trump. It really doesn't matter.
Do they have these chicks like lined up?
I guess. I mean, when you're a millionaire, billionaire or something, TV star.
I feel like every time one fails, they're like, all right, it's your turn now. You're going to take them down.
Yeah, the porn star didn't do it. How about the Playboy Playmate? She's more refined. Let's end on something amazingly horrific. Coming from Jack the motherfucking Cockring. Are we back to Mexico by any chance? Looks like we might be. Bones of up to 650 victims assassinated and dissolved in acid by drug cartel hitman known as the Soup Maker, found in Mexico pits.
Jesus.
650 victims. Okay. Santiago Meza Lopez is believed to have worked for the Sinaloa drug cartel, which is reported to be the most powerful crime gang on the planet. Authorities believe the area was used by Santiago Mesa Lopez, known in the underworld as El Pozolero, the soup maker. Ugh. Lopez is believed to have worked for Mexico's Sinaloa drug cartel. Blah, blah. He was arrested in 2009 and has been accused of the murders of at least 300 people. The mass murderer is still awaiting sentencing for his crimes, I assume forever. Police fear most of the hitman's victims will never be identified, as Lopez is alleged to have put the bodies of his victims in barrels of acid before burying them in the pits.
Jesus.
Workers found 4,300 gallons of organic material and around 400 pounds of human bones at the killing grounds.
Wow.
That's fucking insane. So, aside from that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play?
That's horrific.
Yeah,
So I'm hoping he didn't have a business like where he sold soup to people.
Oh God,
that would be an interesting half of the story. Like, oh yeah, his soup was great. I remember that guy.
Gregory Hurst says, "Bring that guy on for cereal is soup debate."
Wow.
He's not allowed in that debate.
Well, guys, on that note, let's move on to something far more pleasant. YouTube time. Thank you for the stories. Satsu, what have you been up to today?
I did a video on the Biden versus Trump thing, which was pretty funny. Basically, well, first of all, most of the news outlets that reported on that story took Joe Biden out of context and made it seem like that he was like outright just saying that. But he was commenting on the fact that he made the statement before and that he shouldn't have said it. But, you know, accuracy in news, they don't care about that. But Trump did clap back on Twitter saying that, you know, he shouldn't be making threats and that Joe Biden's just trying to act tough and shit. And I thought it was interesting, a funny thing to talk about. So I just did a video on that.
Okay. You got 7 days tonight?
Yes, we do have 7 days tonight. I don't really have anything to say about that other than Monkey's going to die like 4 times.
I'm not.
Break a leg, Monkey.
That's not nice.
Monkey, what did you do today?
We tried to teach Irate Bear and Bloodwing how to play 7 Days to Die.
Yeah,
and it was fun.
Bloodwing became the new monkey. It was shocking.
I don't like the way you say that.
Well, I mean, he died 4 times, broke his leg once.
He died 5 times.
5?
5.
Oh,
that's that last death that you were like, maybe that's not a death. That was a death.
So he became Monkey 2.0.
Go to hell. But yeah, that's all I did.
Okay. I put out a video today, the latest in my Expatriate game series. It's a little offering from Fusion, who hadn't posted anything of, well, value to me at least in many, many months. But they've apparently dipped their toe back into the realm of reporting on immigration issues, this time profiling 2 guys in Oakland, California, a city that I have inadvertently, because I didn't know what city they were in when the video starts. They don't really mention it till halfway through. So it wasn't until I was already in production of the video that I found out, oh, this is another Oakland story. Great. I can use footage from the wonderful mayor of Oakland. Talking about how they're on a mission to do 2 things. First, educate the immigrant community, which they seem to equate with anyone who is Latino, because anyone who is Latino is automatically not a native-born citizen, I guess, and or an illegal resident, about how their situation is the same as how the situation with Black people was historically. Therefore, they need to join forces in order to become stronger in this fight or something.
Yes.
And the other part of it was that they are forming or have formed, I should say, a network of informants, basically, to alert people in this phone tree or whatever of the presence of ICE officers, where they are or where they're operating, etc., which of course is in no way aiding and abetting those who may be here illegally and violating federal law, but just to keep, the citizens safe.
Sure.
Sorry, not citizens, residents.
Did they explain how exactly it's the same thing as what blacks have been through historically?
No, they didn't get quite into that much detail in the video. Maybe there is on the cutting room floor somewhere something that tells us more about that, but not really. I'm sure it's very accurate. But the thing was, it's another one of those situations like so many others where the idea that being in the country illegally is not a crime, therefore anyone being detained by ICE is being done so unjustly.
Of course it is.
I don't understand. Either they are lying out of their asses when they say this. And I'm not just talking about the people in this particular video. I'm just talking about in general the advocates, the activists, or they are really truly that delusional to think that federal law in this instance doesn't matter. I'm not quite sure which one it is. Might be a little bit of both, but either way.
Doesn't the fact that the word illegally doesn't that tip them off a little bit on how it might just be illegal?
Well, I mean, the best example I have about that cognitive dissonance is an interview that was done with Gary Johnson during the presidential campaign of 2016. You just look up Gary Johnson and like illegal immigrant, and a reporter is sitting there with Gary Johnson face to face, and he asks him something to the effect of his opinion on illegal immigration. Gary Johnson just blows up at this reporter about how racist it is to use that terminology and blah, blah, blah. And the reporter, all credit to him, remains completely stone calm and says, well, but sir, being in this country without authorization is a crime, is it not? So how are they not illegally immigrating to the United States? And the guy has nowhere to go because, it's absolutely correct. But that's kind of what I imagine. Like these guys all have like a little Gary Johnson in their head who just automatically takes anything that would sound like it's a slur rather than an accurate description of reality, and then turn it into something offensive. Like, anyway, so there was that. I don't have anything else I'm working on, but on Sunday, for those of you interested, over on Monkey's channel, we will be doing a movies you should have watched at noon Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern, of The Negotiator, starring Samuel L. Jackson and Kevin Rapey Spacey.
Kevin Rapey Spacey.
Before he was known as such, and regardless, still a good movie, really good movie. So look for us over there on Sunday. And otherwise, YouTube drama, aside from Omni Destiny apparently killing himself.
I didn't even know that much, so
yeah.
You got me. I haven't really been on the Twitter today.
Yeah, the most interesting thing I heard was the Shives thing, which I thought was hilarious. I might actually do a video on that.
That is funny.
Yeah, it's just like, I have an opinion about this movie, unless I don't like it, because I don't want to hurt black people's feelings.
That is so goddamn stupid.
Because the sound of my voice, is like from Paul Atreides from Dune. It is a killing word. Simply the sound of my voice will hurt people if I say something negative. Because Steve Shives is that powerful.
Yeah.
Let's see. Philip DeFranco was talking about the crackdown on gun-related content on YouTube.
Yeah.
Some guy's channel got zapped or something because he was like showing off guns and things, but then it was reversed, I suppose. And there was something else. What was it? So apparently, if you use YouTube as any kind of sort of music streaming service, as in you're like looking up music videos and things just to listen to them, apparently now YouTube is going to be somehow, through algorithms and other things, I'm sure, targeting you for additional ads on or in such videos. I don't know if that means like in the middle of listening to John Bon Jovi, an ad will cut in because you're listening to music.
That would piss me off.
That would, but yeah. So you have to watch the breakdown from Philly D. But like the one guy said it very bluntly. It's like, yeah, if they detect that you're sitting there for an extended period of time, like on a playlist or something, just going through music videos or just songs on YouTube, they'll pump in extra ads. Like there'll be 2 at the end of the video, then 1 or 3 at the beginning or something like that, to try to take advantage of the fact that this is not actually a streaming service for music, and we're going to make some money off of it. Then they had an actual spokesman come out after that piece of information surfaced to try to ease people's fears. I can't repeat it verbatim, but the corporate legalese speak that they gave that sounded much softer and nicer said the exact same thing. So, yeah. So look out, guys. Now, of course, if you happen to be using that pesky ad block, I don't think it matters. But for those of you that don't, which I'm sure is most of you, be prepared for additional advertisements if you happen to be sitting at work and just using YouTube to queue up a playlist. A playlist, by the way, that YouTube will generate for you if you happen to watch or listen to any music videos to begin with. Because I have that happen. I'll listen to like 2 or 3 songs, then suddenly the next day I'll come up on my YouTube page and it'll say, here's a playlist of recommended videos for you. And it's all music videos of the same genre.
Yeah.
That could be also a deterrent too, because the most annoying thing in the world is if you're listening to a song in particular, and like it stops like every 5 minutes for a fucking ad. Yeah. Like that's infuriating.
Are they going to start doing that to people who run 20 minutes of fucking songs at the beginning of their live streams? They should have to get 600 ads before you can ever get to the live stream at that point.
Yeah. Or can you imagine what's going to happen to a song like Freebird?
Oh, God.
You get 2 minutes in, 3 ads, an extra 2 minutes, 3 more ads. It just goes on and on.
If they did, though, Monkey, that might incentivize people to do it more because they still be making money off those ads as long as people are sitting through them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe not.
Let's go to Spotify or something, and then who gives a shit? Or Pandora. I remember when Pandora was a new thing, and you could just sit there for hours on end. You get like 1 ad every 10 songs or something. Thank you, James Colley. Right now, every second song has an ad between them. Aha. Well, expect that apparently in the near future to increase by some factor of yes. I don't know what it's going to be, but there you go. Let's see. Otherwise, I don't know of any other YouTube drama. So, I guess deep topic?
Sure.
Do you have anything, guys? Because I don't.
God damn it. I wish I would have wrote it down. It was something I was thinking about earlier.
You were thinking about something earlier, didn't write it down. Well, you need to take the monkey school of getting a pen and paper.
I know, because I'm just like, I'm not going to forget because I'm feeling really passionate about this right now. And it was like, bye.
I guess that hard on wilted. Thank you, Cryptic. Why is Coolio good at craps? He's got a gangster's paradise.
I see what you did. I see what you did.
Oh. Wow. I think, yeah, Coolio was one of only, I think, 2 people that got mad at Weird Al for parodying one of their songs.
Yeah.
The other one was...
not happy about that.
Paul McCartney didn't get mad. He just didn't give permission for Weird Al to make a parody of his song. He was going to take Live and Let Die and turn it into Chicken Pot Pie.
Yeah.
Let's see. So we don't have a deep topic?
Not that I know of, no. Yeah, didn't you say there was an article you were looking at? Or did you read that already?
Oh, that was the bank one.
Oh.
Or the cultural appropriation of cartoon dog thing, which I just so stupid I just gave up on it. Um, well,
there was something that happened, and I'm trying to remember what it was.
okay.
Damn it.
Shall I play the Jeopardy music?
This is why I write shit down.
Oh, we have breaking news. Breaking news.
What?
Breaking news. Trump bans most transgender troops.
Oh.
Oh boy, this just happened, guys. As CNN is about to play a video in my ear, and I have to stop it before it deafens me. Okay. Shit. And then it puts an ad up in there. Stop it. And my phone beeps. Everything goes off at the top of the hour for some reason. Everything explodes. Why is that? So White House announces policy to ban most transgender persons from serving in military. The White House announced on Friday, the White House on Friday announced, a policy to ban most transgender persons from serving in the U.S. military. Following a long review of a policy following a tweet by President Donald Trump last year. What the fuck? Okay. How about after a long review of a policy, following a tweet by President Donald Trump last year, CNN, do you need like an extra editor? Can I have Chris Cillizza's job?
Don't you think they need an editor?
Well, yes, but I mean, I'll try to play diplomatic here and say, do you need an extra editor, CNN? I mean, I'm willing to take your money for like the 3 seconds it takes me to spot all the fucking problems with your copy. The White House said the policy will say, quote, transgender persons with a history or diagnosis of gender dysphoria, individuals who the policies state may require substantial medical treatment, including medications and surgery, are disqualified from military service except under certain limited circumstances. And that's it for this story. It just came out, so it's kind of a snippet.
I'm not surprised. That would be, if that's what they're going to do, that would be the way to go, because they do that for anyone.
Yeah, if you have what is effectively a mental disorder. Yeah, so let's see. This story is breaking and will be updated. Okay, well, there might be more details tomorrow night, but that is the breaking news of that. Now, how this affects those serving currently who fall within that category, I don't know. I'm guessing they will be grandfathered in, perhaps, but I don't know. So,
you mean grand-personed in?
Oh, sorry. California. I apologize.
Yeah, you piece of shit. Get it together.
W.R. Costin says, didn't this already happen? Well, it was being talked about a lot. It had not been implemented, and this apparently is the implementation of it. Because, yeah, it had been discussed as happening for quite a while, then it kind of took a back seat to a million other things going on. So, yeah, I guess we'll see what happens. I'm sure this will go to court in some fashion. I'm guessing. But we'll see. So in that time, it's just Jared's birthday.
Oh, hi, just Jared.
Just Jared. Shall we sing to Jared?
Yes, we should. Just Jared, are you listening? Are you out there? Can you hear us right now?
Is there anybody out there? Okay.
Jared, this one's for you.
And a 1 and a 2.
Happy birthday
to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, just Jared. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday. Have some Subway.
Eat fresh. Oh God, Jared Fogle. What a piece of work is that man?
Jared Fogle the Fondler.
Yeah. God, that guy's so gross.
I still love the memes from that, though.
Yeah, that's true.
I know it was horrible, but
so no deep topic. Well, then I guess we'll go trolling for one somewhere.
Let's troll for a deep topic.
All right, guys. Deep topic. Google. What is the "I'm feeling lucky" button still on Google?
I think you gotta like activate it or something.
Yes, it is. There it is. I'm feeling lucky. Okay, so deep topic, and I'm feeling lucky. Deep conversation topics. Okay.
All right.
Personal questions. How personal do they get? Where is your life headed? How do you think you will die? What the fuck? No. Okay, give me a random topic.
I don't know. Well, Squishy asked me an interesting question earlier that I was having some hard time with.
Okay.
She said, if you had to make a choice, would you rather you lose your sight or your hearing?
Hearing.
Yeah, hearing. I would not want to have to try to navigate the world blind. I'd rather be able to see than that was easy. That I put that question into Google and it brought me to an essay about the very topic.
Cool.
I guess. So sure, why not? I'll give this a minute or three. Would you rather give up your hearing or your eyesight? Why? I'm deaf, and I can tell you that it is so much better to be deaf than blind, regardless of what the great Helen Keller may have said. I know what she would have said.
That's not nice.
I know.
It's not wrong.
It's not wrong, though. With our vision, we can do anything hearing people can do. We can drive cars, fly planes, work, marry, have kids, and so on. Fly planes.
Sure, why not?
Sure. We can read books, surf the internet, watch movies, and a whole lot of other fun stuff. We're independent. Without vision, while you're certainly learn to drive into the... Yeah, well, I think that's the short and fine answer. All right. Scribe Light, what is the sound of one hand clapping? The palm of my hand against a pretty girl's butt. That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's right. Deep topics. Let's see.
There's got to be something.
I know. I'm trying. Okay. Let me like go to like page 10 on the Google results and see what I get.
Go to the Google machine. 5
networking conversation starters and topics. Networking. Okay. 5 lines that will keep a conversation going.
Let's find out.
All right.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
All right. So if someone asks, it opens up with a question or a quote. Quote, so what are you driving now? Unquote. If someone asked me that at an event, I'd most likely turn on my heels and go find a wall to hit my head against. Jeez, is that all it takes? Not that it's a dumb question necessarily, it's just that it's inanely dull and smacks of scraping the conversational barrel. How about smacks of scraping the bottom of the conversational barrel if you want that idiom to work? Oh, person who's not identified writing this. But we've all been there, right? Those moments where your head goes blank just as the last few words trickle out of the conversation, and you stand there in an awkward silence that makes you feel like a smudge on the social stage. Okay. You pile pressure on yourself to think of something smart, to tell an interesting story, or to think of a deep topic.
I see what you did there.
Or to reference something relevant, and you come up with a big fat 0. That's body shaming. So in an effort to be helpful, it's a new thing I'm trying. Who are you? Oh, Steve Airy. It's off on the side. E-R-R-E-Y. Airy. Thank you. Nope. Hearing loss equals women minus nagging.
Oh,
nope. That's a nope. Okay. Number 1. Tell me more about ... Okay. This one's gold, not only because it offers you a simple way to leverage something you already know about who you're with or something he or she has already told you, but because it feels flattering to have someone ask you to go deeper into a topic. Tell me more about being a cripple.
It's fun. It's how I spend my days.
Tell me more about being black.
I don't know.
How you know he wasn't talking to me?
Yeah, I know. I mean, I turned my head as though I were looking at a different person, but you don't see that, obviously. Because I'm miming to myself off camera. Yeah. Okay. Number 2. What's the best part of ... What's the best part of being a cripple?
People don't expect you to do anything.
Ah. What's the best part of being black?
People don't expect you to do anything.
Number 3. How did you get into ... How did you get into being a cripple?
I read about it online, and it sounded like something really fun.
Oh yeah. How did you get into being black?
My white friend told me about it.
Oh, okay. Do you do everything your white friend tells you to do?
You can't trust your white friends.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
All right. Number 4. What's your biggest challenge being a cripple?
Standing up straight.
What's your biggest challenge being black?
People telling me that I should be challenged because I'm black.
Oh, this is good. Number 5. What's your favorite cheese? You guys lost the plot there.
Spray.
Oh God, you got like that's right. You like aerosol cheese.
I love spray cheese. Fuck you.
Satsu, what's your favorite cheese?
Munster.
Mine is Roger Corman. So we'll move on from there.
Who the fuck is that?
Wait, what's wrong with?
Thank you, Mr. Baker. If your mother and wife/girlfriend, that's a long distance between those two things. But anyway, if your mother and wife/girlfriend switched bodies, and the only way to reverse it was to have bang with one of them, which one would you bang?
I'm banging my girlfriend.
So you
who is also your mom?
You bang your girlfriend's body with your mother inside.
Yeah, because it's still not banging your mom. You don't want to know what your mom's VJ feels like. Come on.
Well, I mean, you don't want to know what she sounds like when you're fucking her either.
You already know what it's like to be, coming out of your mother's vagina.
No, I don't remember that.
Well, he don't want to know what it's like to be coming in.
Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
Well, see, I would, yeah. So I drugged them both, so neither one would remember what happened, and then I'd bang my girlfriend.
But you'd still remember.
Well, but that's not the important part. They can't remember.
Oh, so it's okay. So as long as your mom doesn't remember what you did to her, it's okay.
No. It'd be traumatic for both.
That's what you just said.
It'd be traumatic for both because I'd be having sex with my girlfriend's body without her ability, involvement, and also mother. So if they're both unconscious while it was all happening, there was nothing to, it's just a bad.
You hear that, guys? If they're unconscious, there's nothing bad that happened.
That's right. That's right. In this fictional scenario of things, I learned everything I needed to know from that video that Poisoning of the Well reviewed.
Hey, Mom, does this smell like chloroform to you?
Oh, Jesus. Okay, deep topics. What else do we have? Deep learning workshop. That sounds kinky. Let's try something else. Apparently you get too far into deep topics in Google's results and you get into like marine biology studies, like deep ocean things. Oh, here we go. 10 questions to ask to go deep in your relationship.
I think we did that with your mom one.
Hello.
Did you get James Colley there? Did I just?
I did not. Thank you, James Colley. If Satsu trusts his white friends tonight on 7 Days stream, give him
baby, I love you.
bolts and rocket launcher.
Yeah. Actually, we don't have those on the game we're playing.
Wait, we don't have what on the game?
We don't have rocket launchers right now.
Oh, yeah. Well, in the server we're in right
now. How to go deeper in your intimate relationships. Press your hips down farther. And questions.
Fuck them in the butt.
Here are 10 questions to ask to go deep into your intimate relationship.
Wait. Satsu didn't answer the question about whether he'd do his girlfriend or his mom.
Oh,
Nobody did.
Me and Scribe both did.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell are you talking about?
We both said we'd do the girlfriend's body even if mom was inside, although I added the extra flair of drugging them both beforehand.
Oh, no, I'm going to make mom remember.
Yeah, whatever. So, Satsu, what do you come down on that?
Well, you've activated my trap card.
What? It's a trap.
I use black person is not obligated to inform you of whatever you're asking about.
Jesus. I didn't know you could play that card.
Yeah.
Okay, so deep questions to get deep into your relationship. Number 1. Okay, so imagine asking this of your wife and or fiance, because I can't. I don't have anyone to ask these questions to. Number 1, is there anything I can do for you in this moment to help you feel more comfortable or loved?
What gay shit is this?
I don't know, but that is the dumbest fucking question I have ever heard someone suggest to ask in an actual relationship.
The only people I know who ask questions like that are people who just came from fucking that girl from down the street.
Yes.
Thank you, Peter Hades. $5 for you and $3 for YouTube. Well, thank you, Peter. I appreciate it.
Right.
Honey, is there anything I can do to make you feel more comfortable and loved right now? Take out the trash. Oh, okay.
Accept that.
Yeah. That is a question you ask when you are the most insecure fucking person on the planet. Now,
no,
Satsu's
right.
What?
That's when you've banged somebody you shouldn't have been.
Oh, okay. Maybe.
That's the only way it's okay to ask that gay question.
Oh, it gets worse, guys. Number 2, how can I better support you in your life?
Hey, what's next?
Okay.
How do you make it gayer?
Well, number 3, is there anything I have done in the past week that may have unknowingly hurt you?
No, you don't ask questions like that. That's asking for trouble.
This is Oh, Gregory Hurst says, untie me. Is there anything I can do to make you feel more comfortable and loved? Untie me. No, these are questions you ask if you're a total beta male. Now, admittedly, these questions don't seem to be aimed at one particular gender or another, but seeing as how I cannot speak for women, I'm going to say that if a guy was asking these questions, he's a total cuck.
I just can't. I don't know. I guess because I'm used to being in a relationship where that shit is talked about right away. If I did something in the past 2 weeks to piss my girlfriend off, she has already yelled at me about it.
Yeah.
Like that shit has already happened. That has been a conversation, and I've already told her to shut up. Like
if you're so insecure as to have to verify, did I do anything to upset you? Yeah, get out of that relationship right now.
I mean, most of the women I know would have been like, "Yeah, you're fucking whinging like a bitch right now." But besides that,
number 4 almost seems like one we've already read. Number 4, when you come home from work, what can I say or do that will make you feel the most loved? Dinner's ready.
This is some hell. Don't know, man. This is how you're going to end up single or dating men.
This is that shit, man. I've definitely seen chicks who'd be like, I would fucking leave. I would literally walk out the door and come back in and hope that there's not a fag still talking to me.
Yeah, this questionnaire is causing chafing amongst our audience. I guarantee it.
All right. So number 5 has a caveat they put after the question. So I'm going to read the caveat first so we can the right context. Okay.
Okay.
This question refers to non-sexual touch. Okay. So number 5, hold on. Number 5, is there any kind of physical touch that I can engage in more that helps you to feel loved? That's non-sexual.
Okay.
I mean, the weird thing about this question.
Just date women.
The weird thing about these questions is the fact that they're all things that like couples do for each other without asking in a very awkward and questionable way. Because like I could answer that question, because for Squishy it's rubbing her head. She just likes when I fucking rub her head. She'll be sitting down and I'll just rub her head, and she like does this little smile and her shoulders get all hunched up and she's like, yeah, that's awesome. And I'm like, I just know that because I'm a fucking man. Like, what do you mean? Jesus Christ.
Okay, number 6. Do you think you will need more closeness or more alone time over the next couple of days?
What? Okay, all right, you can ask that.
Scarce.
If you ask that, she's gonna say alone time because she doesn't want to be with a bitch.
Yeah, because you're creepy as fuck. Okay, number 7. It kind of goes back to one we read before. Is there any argument that we had this past week that you feel incomplete about?
Oh.
I haven't finished yelling at you yet about that thing last week. Jesus.
What kind of bitch man? I'm sorry. What kind of bitch man would ask this shit seriously?
Well, that one in particular, like I haven't asked that question, but if Squishy's upset or she's like visibly upset or something, then I'll be like, hey, what's the fucking problem?
I'm going to read to you about the author of this after we get to the end of this.
Oh boy.
Because it's amazing. Okay, number 8. We only got three left, including this one. How do you feel about our sex life lately?
That's a legit question if you're not having sex. Otherwise, just tap it, man. Stop being such a wuss.
Number 9. This is a long one. What are the main stressors currently in your life? And is there any way I can alleviate that stress for you, if only a small amount?
No, you do not know. No. Here's something you need to know about women. When they have stress, they don't want you to fix it. They do not want your opinions. They just want you to fucking sit there and listen.
Yeah, that's it. Just listen to what they got to say.
You don't even try.
Because the moment you start giving suggestions or sounding like you maybe, because there are a lot of times, man, where my chick was going on about some shit, and the thing that she was going off about was some shit that she influenced, and it was her fault. And I'm like, I could sit here and tell her, like, you're doing this to yourself. You know that, right? But I'm like, that's not the right response. The right response is, damn, that's crazy.
Yep, that's exactly it.
That's it. Like, man, that's crazy.
And number 10. When do you find speaking difficult, and how can I best support you through those moments?
Fuck off.
You could take your dick out of her.
Okay. Yeah. Because otherwise, I mean, if you're with a woman who has trouble talking to you, because that's what this is intimating there, is that you're too much of a dick for her to even speak. Either you need to be like less dickish, or you need to be with somebody who's a little more assertive. Believe me, Lady Monkey has no problem speaking her mind.
Well, Squishy does, and I have to tell her to sometimes, but that's different. Like I don't sit there and ask no fucking probing questions. I'm just like, hey, you got something on your mind clearly, so let's hear it.
Airplier says most of these questions have the same answer: sex.
Right.
Now, I want to read to you about the author of this wonderful advice. His name is Jordan Gray, relationship coach.
Oh, fuck off.
Hey, my name is Jordan. I am passionate about helping you optimize your love life. I believe that deeply fulfilling intimate relationships can be available to every person on the planet as long as they know how to get out of their own way and begin to love on purpose. What?
No, this shit reminds me of John Gray.
Yes.
The idiot who gave us Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus.
Yes.
And one of the stupidest things he said, and I still remember, it pissed me off when I heard it, and it still pisses me off, is he said that men are very direct and women talk in code, so men need to learn to talk like women. And I'm like, no, you pussy ass bitch. That is not the right answer.
So don't talk at all. Because I was about to say that's how Squishy talks. She literally just shuts up, and I have to like pry information out of her.
Oh, God. Poke around and read a few of my posts. I think you'll be surprised by how much your love life can benefit by taking action on just a few of my tips. As for me, I'm a sensitive and intuitive guy who has always been able to see others better than they can see themselves, and I believe in helping people step up in their relationships in a big way.
I have no doubt he's as sensitive as a clit.
And here's the scarier part. Jordan Gray is a #1 Amazon best-selling author, public speaker, and relationship coach with nearly a decade of practice behind him. Yeah, practice makes perfect, I'm sure.
Is he married?
It doesn't say.
It's amazing how many relationship gurus aren't fucking married.
Let's see. Jordan Gray, relationship coach. Relationship. Let's see.
He's the minge whisperer.
Jordan Gray, author at the Good Men Project. What is the Good Men Project?
I don't know, but it doesn't sound right.
The Good Men Project, the
Sounds
conversation no one else is having. Tell me, give me, where's the about thing?
Except all the other people that are, but they don't care.
Dads and families, sex and relationships, sports, marriage. Is there an about section to this whole thing? Here we go.
You can't give relationship advice if you're not part of a long-term relationship. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. The Good Men Project is a glimpse of what enlightened masculinity might look like in the 21st century. We had set out to start an international conversation about what it means to be a good man in the 21st century. And with over 3 million visitors coming to join in every month, it looks as if we've done exactly that. The Good Men Project was founded by Tom Matlack in 2009. Tom set out to collect stories about the defining moments in men's lives. What he discovered was that the connected idea between all the stories of the men Tom talked to was that there was a moment when each man, quote, woke up, looked in the mirror, and said, I thought I knew what it meant to be a man. I thought I knew what it meant to be good. And I realized that I don't know either. Oh, Jesus.
And what it apparently means is being a bitch.
We explore the world of men and manhood in a way that no media company ever has, tackling the issues and questions that are most relevant to men's lives. Okay, so, guys today are neither the mindless, sex-obsessed buffoons nor the stoic automatons our culture so often makes them out to be. Our community is smart, compassionate, curious, and open-minded. They strive to be good fathers and husbands, citizens and friends, to lead by example at home and in the workplace, and to understand their role in a changing world.
This dude's a straight bitch.
I think my estrogen count just went up by about a factor of 20.
It would be less gay to suck a dick than read what this guy's saying.
And on that note, chat, it is your time, bottom of the hour. If you have questions, comments, complaints, conspiracy theories, or advice on how to be a modern 21st century man, for all the good that'll do you, let us know. If you have a question for us, be sure to put plenty of question marks after so we know it's a question for us and not something for the chat. And yeah. Thank you, James Colley. Sounds like he asked that question after inserting a tampon.
You're not wrong.
It does sound like he was having a heavy flow at the time.
Goddamn, why are men such bitches these days? And it's okay. It's okay to talk to your partner and have conversation. That's not bad. The way those fucking questions were asked was just horrible. But this, I used to think I know what it meant to be a man. What changed?
I don't know, all I know is there's going to be a lot of dry pussies in the world.
Yeah, no shit.
Shiogura says, Scribe, you ever watch The Gamer's Darkness Rising? Yes, I think a long time ago. That's been out a while, hasn't it? I think I did see it, or at least maybe just the preview. Either way, it didn't really stick with me, but I know of it. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, with the the way feminism seems to be the standard line, or at least we're told it is. What's the safer way to approach being a man if being a regular man is going to get you accused of being a horrible criminal all the time? I don't know.
Well, as a man, I don't sit around thinking, oh, they're going to think I'm a criminal. I just do my shit.
Well, I should say, I can understand why this line of thinking or whatever would gain traction given what the opposing force is and the risks otherwise. It's not going to save you because it doesn't matter. If you've got a dick and you do something that someone else determines is wrong, you're still in the doghouse. But either way, yeah.
Oh, interesting times we live in, fellas.
I think it's, I don't know. I'm so tired of men needing to be told how to be men.
Yeah.
And this idea that being stoic is bad. No, that's actually a very manly trait that men do need to have, because whether you like it or not, people will lean on you.
Scott McGinnis wants to know if I've ever seen While You Were Sleeping starring Sandra Bullock.
Well, wait a minute.
Like Bill Pullman from a long time ago too, wasn't he?
Michael Hatfield says, "Today's my birthday. Can I get a son?" Look, well, I like you as a friend.
Yeah, I mean, Monkey has one to spare, but
yeah, I'm keeping both of mine, and I'm not planning any. So,
yeah,
but if you'd like a song, we can do that.
Yeah, and I don't have a womb, so I can't help you there either.
Michael, are you out there?
Is there anybody out there?
This one's for you, son. And a 1 and a 2.
Oh, happy Michael boy.
To
you. The pipes are calling. No, sorry.
Happy
birthday to you.
Happy birthday. Dear Michael.
Dear Michael, wanting to be a father, wants a son.
Happy
birthday to you. Don't kidnap any children. Thank you.
Happy birthday, Michael.
Thank you, Jesse DeFenic Fox. Cringe level over 9,000. This guy made me annoyed. Also, get some more Dr. Pepper scribbles. Yay, Dr. Pepper. Thank you, Jesse.
Michael, that's one of my favorite typos I've ever seen in our chat, by the way. I'm a fan of typos because they're actually quite telling about people. You'll notice people have the same typos over and over again.
Actually, we could say literally like, Monkey, can I have a son? And we should have said, of course you can. Just, find the right girl.
Just don't follow that guy's advice.
Who was the roundest knight? Who was the roundest knight at King Arthur's table? Circumference.
Wah, wah.
Go ahead, Monkey.
Carrick says, Monkey, I suppose the stoic thing is about finding the right balance, as in not being so damn stoic that you don't seek help when you need it. It's not even about that anymore. They want men to be women. And this is something that bothers me, because that's what it's all about. It's about turning men into women. That's why we have things like toxic masculinity. You'll notice that the toxically masculine things are all things that are more about men. No toxic things about women. Women are perfect. Even when I had that bitches stabbing people.
When I had that feminist on my channel, what we were talking about, because she mentioned toxic masculinity, and I'm like, the reason that there's an issue with the conversation of toxic masculinity is because they have a subset of traits, like a specific set of traits that they have designated to be toxic by default. And I'm like, that's a problem, because no matter what traits you're talking about, whether they be masculine or feminine, too much of any of them can be toxic. So I'm like, if the conversation went towards finding a balance and figuring out where you want to be as far as that goes, and how much is too much or how little is too little, and just trying to be a well-balanced out person, then sure, I'm all for it. We can express, and talk about behaviors or whatever, but that's not what the conversation is. You were saying that these traits in particular are inherently toxic. And I'm like, that's not, that won't ever get you anywhere, because some of those traits that you mentioned, whether it be aggression or, anything, are traits that are found in some of the bravest people that we have out there, the people who fight in our military, the police officers, people who save other people's lives, selfless people. That shit is rooted in a lot of the so-called toxic traits that you point out. And I'm like, you're not going to get anywhere with it being that focused. So you need to, I told her, like, as a feminist, as especially a feminist who's trying to keep the feminist movement intact, that's something I feel like you need to prioritize. And she agreed. Because I'm like, that's, the conversation, y'all are taking it in the complete wrong direction if you want progress.
Let's see. Jesse says, what was everyone's first pet as a kid and what was their name?
I had a cat named Bandit.
Yeah, it was a cat for me. I forgot what this particular cat's name was, but it was an evil fucker.
My first pet was a teddy bear named Bear.
That's so sad.
I know. Harvest Marvel says, Scribe, I have something I saw concerning the omnibus bill Trump signed. Was wondering if I can send it to see if fits conspiracy theory or not. It's a short page read by someone on Twitter. I guess if you want to tweet it out. Let's see. Jacqueline Dusk says a lot of the traits are what leads men to be successful. Exactly.
Yep.
You have to be a bit assertive. You have to have control over your emotions. You have to think clearly under stress. These aren't necessarily traits that all men possess, but they definitely possess them in greater numbers than do most women. So
yeah,
it's not an indictment against women as people or anything. It's just it's a sexual dimorphism at work.
And more successful men exhibit those traits for the most part. And some people will argue, like, well, that dude who does the emotional shit, he's successful. And I'm like, no, he's not successful. He's appealing to people's emotions, but he isn't doing anything. He's literally saying things that are basic, normal human behavior and getting credit for it from other emotional people. But most rational people are like, that dude's a fucking idiot. So,
Devil Fruit Zero says, Scribelight, is it weird that at 5 I named my cat Pussycat because of the song What's New Pussycat? I guess it depends on how old you are. Because, Tom Jones, for crying out loud. Let's see. James Colley says, LOL, y'all just answered a security question for password changes. Sorry. Yeah, that's why I don't answer those kind of questions, honestly. Because not that I ever use pet names for security questions, but anytime I see a survey talking about, like, what was the street you lived on, or that stuff, I'm like, I never answer that shit. It's just phishing.
Well, unless my cat's name was I don't know, then I did.
Or those things that say, what was your porn star name? And then they give you a chart to use your birth date to say your porn star name.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, then you're just giving them your birth date just through a nice, fun little game. So, yeah. Let's see. Have we seen Kazam starring Shaq?
Okay.
I've never watched it.
Unfortunately, I have.
I know of it. Never watched. I saw the preview a bunch of times. Hey, Scribe, what's wrong with a little Tom Petty? There's nothing. Oh, Tom Perry? I don't know who Tom Perry is. If you're talking about Tom Petty,
Tom Jones?
Nothing wrong about Tom Petty. I love Tom Petty. Let's see. Hey, Camel says, don't knock Tom Jones, Scribe. That man was in Mars Attacks, and he was Carlton Banks' guardian angel. He's a national treasure. I didn't say Tom Jones was bad. I didn't say anything about that at all. Let's see. Sarah Plyer, what is your biggest pet peeve other than stupid people? People who hit the crosswalk signal when they already see me standing across the street. Oh, and especially when it's already lit. It's like There are people out there that seem to still believe if you hit it 12 more times, it's going to speed up the light pattern. It's not. I hate that.
Maybe they're like, that guy looks too dumb to think to hit the thing, so I'll do it.
It's already lit. I mean, there are old crosswalk things that are just the button without a light or anything. But if they have a light on there and you see it glowing red, it means it's been activated. You don't have to push it. Just stop.
No, if you push it again, it works faster.
Yes,
that's science.
Yes, I had a guy one time. I was standing there at the corner waiting. I'd been there for 10, 15 seconds or something. The thing was lit. I was standing close enough to the thing that there was only maybe 6 inches between me and the button. And this guy walks up and he's standing there and he's looking around and he's looking at me. He's looking really nervous, like he wants to do something or say something. And then he walks up to me, reaches around my chest to hit the button. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then just then the light changed. And I thought to myself, this guy thinks he did that.
He did.
That motherfucker. I hated him even more at that moment than just him giving me a reach around to hit a button, which isn't how it goes on most nights. Harvest Motor says, sent the tweet. What do you guys think of the Evil Dead movies and TV series? Well, the TV series is hilarious. First season's better than the second season. The second season's all fucked up because if you know about the behind the scenes stuff in the second season, yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on behind there. The movies I could go on for a long time. Thank you, Satyr Cat. Nice to have a stream without yelling and arguments. Well,
it's what we do.
Yeah.
We're all friends here.
And Hate Camel says, and Scribe didn't realize his wallet was missing. I have been pickpocketed before, but I solved that problem because now my wallet is chained to my pants.
Now he's like a biker, yo.
That's right. I'm a total biker without a motorcycle. Oh yeah, what were you guys' pet peeves aside from just stupid people?
Hearing people chew is probably my biggest. I fucking hate it, and I passed it down to my daughter, who's she's worse than I am about it. But it was drilled into my head as a child, and I can't listen to people chew.
Shiogorath, that's the last time I use my Sean Connery accent to tell the wife to sit on my face.
I get it.
Wow.
Satsu, what's your biggest pet peeve?
One of my biggest pet peeves is people who use emotional manipulation to get a reaction out of you. So people who say negative things about themselves in your presence to fish for compliments. I can't stand people like that. It annoys the shit out of me. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I just saw a question, and I've seen it a few times. Richard Art asked where we're playing. If you're talking about me and Satsu, we'll be on 2 cents plus. That's the number 2, CENTSPLUS. 2 cents plus, all one word. There you go. Sorry, dude.
Yeah.
I got excited because I saw an actual question.
Yeah, I just can't stand that shit. It's really annoying. I've had a couple friends who do that to where every time they call you, they just start going on about and if you don't say anything nice about them while they're going on about how terrible they are and how horrible, and then they I could have used your support then. I'm like, you're just fishing for compliments, man. Fuck off. I understand you're sad. I get it. I understand there's stuff going on, and I'm here to support you. But why do you always have to you walk around me and you down yourself just to get me to say something nice about you? I'm like, I do that regularly. I do it organically. I don't need you to influence that decision.
Babe, I'm so ugly.
Shut up.
That reminds me
Jesse
of
asked.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, real quick. Jesse asked what my favorite movie is to watch with Grand Monkey. Whatever she wants to watch at the time, I'm happy to watch. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm going to toot my own horn, so to speak. There's a piece of advice that I've given many people that I think is true. When it comes to finding a significant other, at least, or a boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, you want to find somebody who wants a relationship, but does not need a relationship.
Oh,
if
yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
that's
there's a very,
advice.
very important differential there. I've seen too many people who are in these codependent dumpster fires, or people that have never known what it's like to operate on their own 2 feet. And so they will fall into relationships with anybody because they don't know how to handle themselves either emotionally and or financially and or just in life without having someone else there, some other warm body in the room. So advice to everybody: be in a situation where you want a relationship, but not that you need one, and you'll be in a much better place, I think.
Oh yeah, man. That statement was always a red flag to me, that I don't know what I would do without you thing.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
right.
oh. Like, oh, that's a bad sign.
Let's see, missed a couple things. Who said the thing and the stuff that I just missed a minute ago?
Said the thing and the stuff.
The thing and the stuff and the thing and stuff. Devil Fruit Zero said, Scribe, do you guys think nuclear energy is safe? Because I do, with all the money they put into safety measures and technology since Chernobyl. I think it has as much possibility to go wrong as anything else. I mean, look at Fukushima. You know, that was an extraordinary event where a giant tidal wave comes in, but at the same time, the damage caused by the fallout, no pun intended, of that happening is greater than just the tidal wave itself. So there's always going to be a danger. I don't think you can make it 100% safe. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not against it, but I think if you're going to have it, you should have it as far away from people as possible and have as many fail safes as you can possibly think of. But, you know, as long as you've got something that powerful sitting around, I mean, there are, there's that site they use to make the atomic bomb somewhere in the West that's still radioactive today, that just, they can't go near because it's still like hot.
Yeah.
All these years later. So yeah, it's just, I don't know. I mean, the promise of nuclear power, it would be great so long as it can be totally safe, and it can't be. So that's why electricity and coal will still be around, because those are relatively manageable. You don't die from electric radiation 10 miles away from a site when an electric power station blows up. Let's see. Karik says, Scribe, you realize several flaws with Fukushima and its maintenance and security overviews by the company were dug up post-accident, right? Yes, I do. But that also just goes to the point of it was functioning and it wasn't being looked at well, even though we know better. And then a tidal wave hit it and everything went to shit anyway. Yeah. So let's say everything at that place was working correctly and the tidal wave still hit. Would it have been any safer? I don't know. I wouldn't want to find out, honestly. Hypnagogic Monk, Bikini Atoll. No, it's not Bikini Atoll. It's a site like in the continental United States. I forget where it is. It's some site where they refined uranium or whatever for the atomic bomb way back in World War II, and it's still radioactive. I know it's in the West somewhere. I forget the name of it. Anyway. Let's see. Coal is verboten, says Prospero. Well, tell that to Virginia. White sand, says Shogarath. Maybe. I don't know, guys. I'll try to look it up. I know it was a site somewhere. Scott McGinnis really wants to know what's my favorite Charlie Chaplin movie. The Great Dictator. I mean, if there's got to be one, I suppose that one. Einar says, underwater hydroelectric fans on the bottom of the sea to harness the endless power of the ocean currents. Sure. That's why we need to make the Sea Quest.
I've seen a lot of concepts for that, but apparently either it's too good and it's going to be encroaching on somebody else's whatever, or it's not as good an idea as people think. Who knows?
Karik says, Scribelight, had the flooding shield been designed around what potential tsunamis could be produced in the area rather than the largest recorded? Yeah. Well, again, you know, you only anticipate what you think you can anticipate, and then of course Murphy's Law, something worse happens, and then you're up Schitt's Creek. Prospero says, I live in Virginia, Scribe Light. The industry was gutted thanks to the previous administration. Don't you remember? No, I don't. I don't live in Virginia, but I was just trying to think of a coal economy state, and Virginia was the first one that came to mind. Backscan, did you ever see the series Santa Clarita Diet? No. I know of it. Haven't watched it. Priestess of Keck, Hanford. Oh, that's it. Yeah, Hanford. Oh, was it Washington? Okay, Hanford, Washington. Yes, the Hanford, like nuclear test site or Hanford testing facility or something. Yeah, it's like still super radioactive.
Nice.
Yeah, so Trinity, New Mexico. No, Mule 1066. Although there is a great, if you ever want to see a really interesting documentary, it's called Trinity and Beyond. It's got all of this super duper cleaned up, declassified nuclear test footage from the 50s and 60s. It's narrated by William Shatner. And it is really interesting the way they put this together and go through the history of the testing of nuclear bombs, both before and then after Hiroshima and Nagasaki. It's an excellent documentary if you can get your hands on it. I think it should be relatively easily found these days. Hell, it's probably on YouTube for free or something.
Everything's on YouTube for free except music, apparently.
Yeah, music. Bad comic reviews. Trinity, I saw a documentary about it called The Hills Have Eyes. It was scary.
Nice.
You know, I actually kind of like the Hills Have Eyes remake. It's torture porn to a certain extent, but I kind of like it. Don't see the sequel. The Hills Have Eyes 2, the remake Hills Have Eyes 2 is just stay away. Far, far away. But the first one, decent. James Colley says, cool, a place to get superpowers? Yeah, the superpower of death. You want to go to...
Yeah, it doesn't work like it does in the comic books, man. It sucks.
Yeah. Shiogura says, there's a terminally ill man that owes me money. When I see him, I'll kill him. He's a dead man walking. Okay. Dead Man Walking. You ever see that movie Dead Man Walking with Sean Penn?
Yes. Yeah. A long time ago.
Total Oscar bait. It was all right.
For bait, it wasn't bad, but
yeah. Let's see. Jesse DeFenick Fox says The Hills Have Eyes is loosely based off the Swanee Bean clan. I'll assume that's a family that was all inbred and stuff somewhere.
Sounds like.
I'm assuming. Scott McGinnis says, what's your favorite movie, Satsu?
You don't know,
man.
He doesn't care.
It's really hard for me to pick like favorite anything because every time I make a decision, I'm like, oh, but wait, I like this one too. So it's like I like a lot of fucking things. Like I can tell you my favorite video game series, which is Monster Hunter, but I don't even know if I would call Monster Hunter, like any of the Monster Hunters, one of my favorite games of all time.
Point Curation says, what's your best hope for the next year? Best hope.
This fucking.
What do you mean by best hope?
Like for the world or for myself or?
For me, that they find a way to minimize this fucking pain. I know that's selfish, but.
Hypnagogic Monk says, Scribe Light preferred the Life of David Gale. Okay, Life of David Gale sucked, and I'll tell you why it sucked. It turned anti-death penalty advocates into schemers and liars. And the plot in that movie and the twist, which I won't give away for the things, how they got there was so convoluted and jumped so many hurdles of logic in just the investigatory process that would have taken place in that case and just common sense. By the time I got to the end of the movie, I was like, that is ridiculous. And I didn't really like it. I thought it was overblown. That's just me though. What can I say? It was a Kevin Spacey movie though. So, if you like that kind of thing. Let's see. How drunk was Weibo last year? I don't know. Ask Weibo. I mean, she was having
what happened last year?
I don't know. She was having fermented cranberry juice the other night. So, did Point answer? I don't think I saw it. Let's see. What else? Dankula's decision is overturned. That's my best hope, says Prospero.
That'd be nice.
That would be nice. One of the MPs is going to take it up, and a lot more people today. Like Ricky Gervais was talking about it. There's been some news articles on it. I even saw an article on CNN talking about it in the opinion section, and the person said, while his video was nasty, it was not a crime. And I appreciate that.
I hope this fucking social justice craze dies down. That'd be nice.
Oh, my hope for the next year. Gosh, I don't know. I honestly, I would love to hear that some, and I don't even know which one it would be, but some dramatic medical advancement is made in either cancer or Alzheimer's. Like we found the cure, for diabetes or something. I mean, I've heard for too long now all these things from like 5 or 10 years ago where they're like, they may have found a treatment for X, but it still be 5 or 10 years out before human trials, or they'll know, or et cetera. I still haven't found or heard of that great breakthrough. I think what we need next is another medical breakthrough for something, like dramatically. I don't know if that's going to happen.
Well, with some of the work they're doing with stem cells and stuff, I was actually talking to Sanguine about this one night on his stream. They've done things like taking parts of a mouse's spine out and fixed it.
Yeah, well, like I say, there are a lot of, and I have heard some minor things like stem cells. Like there's been some pain therapy. They've got some eye drops or something that'll help cure particular types of. I forget what it was. A version of an eye disease that kind of makes you go blind. I forget what it was called. I think it was glaucoma, maybe, or something. So there are bits and pieces, but I'm really hoping for something like, we found the cure for cancer, full stop. Something like that. And I understand that's not probably physically or medically possible, but something like that. We need like another, polio vaccine kind of watershed moment, I think, in medical science.
I think if something like that happened, it would be, we found the cure to cancer. Funny thing about that is we did this 20 years ago.
Yeah, or like it was an accident or something. Like we were trying to find the new aphrodisiac, but we actually found the cure for cancer. 3-minute warning, guys. We're almost done. Time has flown. Einar says, or tech breakthroughs other than advancing computers. I don't know if anything major has happened since the late 80s. Well, that's what I say. I think we're due for something dramatic. At least that's my hope. I understand that there's no timetable on these things or something. It's not like predicting the weather, but all the same. Let's see. Scribe Light won't happen. Money is in charge of too much these days. I can always hope for the guy who released the polio vaccine. Dr. Salk, and just say it's free. It is a pure good to just release this and not charge anybody for it. I can only hope. I understand that that's a rare individual, but if there can be one Jonas Salk out there, I can hope for another one. Bless you.
This may be cynical, but I feel like if something like that, bless you. I feel like if something like that were to happen, somebody, whether it be the government or some other selfish fucking pharmaceutical whatever, would be like, no, hell no, you can't do that. We need to figure out how to monetize this. There's no way you can give that away for free.
Well,
or we're ruined.
That's why you take the entire formula for it and put it out to WikiLeaks, and then it's done.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Open source medicine. Too late.
Did you see what Michael said there?
No, I didn't.
He said, thank you. We made his family laugh, made his birthday even better.
Yay!
Glad we could do that.
Well, on that note, guys, we're going to call it a show because we're at the top of the hour. So, chat, thank you so much for joining us. As you do always, you guys are the best audience we could possibly have ever dreamed of. If I have one hope for the future, the next year, it's that you are all well and you tell all your friends about us. Because that's the advertising I do now. Moderators, thank you for keeping an eye on things in the chat. You are the unsung heroes of the show. Monkey, Satsu, and Squishy, peripherally, thank you for joining me, as always. Guys, be sure to watch Monkey and Satsu run around and shoot zombies on 2 cents plus shortly after this is over with. Tomorrow we'll be on Monkey's channel per usual. And Sunday, of course, noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, Monkey and I will be talking about The Negotiator with Kevin Spacey and Samuel L. Jackson, which you can watch right now on Netflix. And if you're going to watch our show, I recommend you watch that first so you know what we're talking about.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, guys, hope you are all well, and we will see you tomorrow.
Bye, guys.
Have a good night, everybody.